All right, hello, Jamie White, and this is Global Diversity News. As always, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out on Twitter at GDN Network, and also take a look at our website, www.globaldiversitynews.com. Okay, now for this topic, we're going to talk about the recent partnership or expanding of a partnership between Kanye West
Easy.
and Yeezy and Adidas. Now, in looking this up, essentially it's going to be very similar to the whole Michael Jordan Nike deal. So what's going to happen is Kanye is going to get his own stores that are going to be specifically devoted to Kanye West's brand, Yeezy, as well as a couple other things. Now, the numbers of this deal weren't disclosed. However, people are projecting that this could eventually make Kanye West a billionaire. Now, before we get into like the whole what does this mean as a business, where do you think Kanye West's ego is gonna go if he goes from making so you can't see that, but Ray just put his hand all the way up to the sky like
Look,
like
touch the
Bobby
sky.
Shmurda when he
He
threw
really
his
gonna touch the sky.
remember Bobby Shmurda he gonna literally touch the sky.
It's amazing.
That's funny, but no, I was gonna say remember when Bobby Shmurda threw up his hat and it never came down. Yeah,
It really won't come down.
yeah, yeah. Woo. Kanye West a billionaire? That would be
That's
amazing.
that's a promising picture to see, and also kind of a scary picture as well.
Yeah, yeah. So just a little humor there. But so let's go ahead. Let's get into it. So my first thought on this is I love the fact that this partnership is created by a non-athlete. Um, what I don't think a lot of people give Kanye a lot of credit for is he does have great visions, right? Either as an artist and as a business mogul. Because
Yeah,
that's honestly that's what he is. Yes, his ego is, you know, like you said, almost touching the sky right now. But I mean, he knows what he's doing in this avenue, and the things that he's been preaching we're seeing are coming to fruition. In that hey, you got to how to create a brand, how to do business partnerships, and essentially how to grow that into making or giving yourself an opportunity to possibly become a billionaire. Which is truly amazing. So I love the fact that he's a non-athlete because now he's just opened the door for essentially anyone. Right now obviously it's music, but
let me ask you this: you said anyone. Do
right.
you honestly think another artist, now they could be R&B, hip hop, pop, rock, or whatever,
Yep,
can do something like Kanye is doing right now?
absolutely. Look at Jay-Z and his partner, or no, before Jay-Z, look at Dr. Dre and his partnership
Well, I'm
with the
saying this
headphones.
in as far as fashion.
Wouldn't headphones be fashion? They're somewhat fashion slash. I guess it's more so music. Yeah, that's you could argue it's fashion, but it's so okay. So let's take a step back. I believe that it would be we've entered this phase where we're creating lifestyle brands, right? People are creating lifestyle personal brands. So everything that they do encompasses fashion or music or art, etc. Like the Dre, like those headphones are for
Right.
your lifestyle, right? You're
Right.
buying that. You're buying that because sure that the headphone, the music quality is exceptional, but you're also doing it because it gives you a certain prestige in life. Same with the Yeezy brand now. Like if you're rocking Yeezy shoes, you're giving off this aura, if you will, that you're a certain type of person. Um,
I mean, I don't necessarily you giving off a aura that you're a certain kind of person.
you were
If I say I'm gonna rock some Yeezys,
Yep.
I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm giving off a aura that hey I'm a specific kind of person. Well, okay, let me ask you this: what kind of person are you presented to the public?
If
If
if you're
you
wearing
I see you
Yeezys,
walking down the street with some
oh,
Yeezys,
so that's what type of person? You're somebody who cares about art, cares about fashion, and you have a lot of money, and you want to be out here showcasing that to the world. Kind of like if you're rocking, you know, a Lamborghini, right? what's a car, right? You're essentially trying to get from point A to point B. That's really it, right? For a
Right.
car. So why buy a Lambo versus when you can buy a car that fits more people and is more gas efficient? You buy the Lambo because you want to tell the world I have a lot of money and I like to drive fast, even though legally you can't drive fast. Like, like there's speed limits. Even though
Right.
if you get in a crash, you're gonna spend ridiculous amount of money to get it fixed. Same with the Yeezys. Like, you're giving off that this is who I am. I care about these certain type of qualities, art, fashion, music. That whole streetwear piece. Um, and I got a lot of money.
I kind of disagree with you
Yeah,
because check this out. I can have on some clean pair of Yeezys, right?
right.
But everything else above does not match. It doesn't even make sense what I'm wearing.
I
So
mean,
how can I present to the public that I really care about art? If you look at that
I
shit.
mean that might be
If
your
I look
art.
at your upper body, I can like, yo, this dude don't care about nothing. He look like mommy. But if I look at your shoes, I'm like, yo, he
I
really
mean,
cares about art. I really
so
applaud for that.
so art is up to expression, right? So if they're wearing mismatch everything other than the Yeezys, that just might be how
It's
their
like a it's
artistic
like a
expression is.
happening. You ever heard of a happening?
No, what is
A
happening?
happening in philosophy, right?
Okay,
A happening tries to go against the standard of what art is. So you could be
so
sitting in
like
your bed,
counter art,
right? Huh?
counter art,
Yeah, counter art. So you be sitting in your bed,
right?
and I'd say that's a happening. Cause that's it's art. I mean,
I
honest
get
to
what you're
God,
saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like,
people do that. That's what
yeah,
they call happenings.
yeah,
So are you presenting to me now a man walking down the street with some Yeezys on, but the entire upper body looks ridiculous?
yeah,
That's the epitome of what a happening is, correct?
yeah. Based on what you just explained, yes.
That's kind of art, then,
It's kind
right?
of. I mean, and maybe that's who Yeezy is. Maybe that's who
Okay.
Kanye is. Like
Kanye just brought he just changed the whole world up. He got people walking down the street, walking happening.
I mean,
I mean,
Kanye's already changed the world. He's changed the world in a lot of different ways, both positive and negative. But I mean, you can't deny the man's influential in a number of spaces, and you cannot say that this man doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to business because clearly he does.
but let me ask you this: this partnership, would you think is a dangerous business for Adidas?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Is it dangerous for
You mean
Adidas to go into partnership with a guy who has a
you're talking about like the Forbes article? I think it was Forbes.
yeah
Yeah.
Forbes yeah
Okay.
yeah the Forbes article? Do you think it's dangerous? Would you consider it a dangerous partnership with Adidas to coincide with Kanye West
Yeah.
with all the stuff he's done in his past, all the stuff he said, all the stuff he's done? Would you consider this to be a dangerous partnership, or would you think this partnership to be very beneficial for the Adidas
Yeah,
brand,
for both
who's
parties.
who's like, for instance, I think they made 3 billion last year or whatever.
Right.
Nike made 15 billion.
They need
So
this.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Will you think this will bridge that gap?
Do I think this will bridge that gap? Absolutely not. I mean, 3 billion to 15 billion. I mean, nah, that's a huge discrepancy. But in terms of a dangerous partnership, I do think based off of those numbers, this is exactly the type of risk Adidas has to take in order to play catch up. Because if you think about it, if this goes well for Adidas, they can
Right.
market themselves as the non-athlete partnership brand, and that's
True.
huge, right?
Yeah.
Now you've got people, and this can be beneficial for a ton of small businesses. Maybe Adidas, with this, going well for them, they can market themselves to small businesses, who are of that whole, marketing, artsy, lifestyle type of people that they can maybe create partnerships and give brands to people, which I'm pretty sure they're doing now. Like for example, everyone's doing in terms of that, but actually investing more money behind it because they know that you don't have to be an athlete to make us $1 billion. Which
But look what they got at Reebok.
What do they have at Reebok?
I said, look what they got. Look what they got. They got to Reebok. Reebok put a big endorsement into G Unit. Sean S. Carter. Now they got Kendrick Lamar. Nobody's buying Reebok.
Right, but
Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. You got one person. Reebok has a dozen of artists
right, but no,
rather than that.
true, but
Go ahead.
like true, but so there's a couple of things there, right? Like,
Uh,
uh, so I'm trying to figure out how to say this and be politically correct.
Go ahead and think, brother.
Yeah, Kanye. So as we were talking about, we're doing this is a lifestyle brand, right? So
Right.
Kanye presents more, I guess, balanced lifestyle fashion choices than like a G Unit or that G Unit did, right? Unfortunately for like G Unit, like S Carter, they got relegated to like the urban, like fashion, which there's only so much money in urban fashion. Kanye
Okay.
West, one of the things that he's always been pushing for is to get out of that urban, marketing or piece that people do push, black musicians,
Right. Right.
regardless of what they do. So, and Kanye's done an excellent job of doing that, and making his brand more appealing to everyone.
Right.
And that's not to say that G Unit and S Carter and whatnot and Kendrick Lamar. I haven't seen Kendrick Lamar stuff, but that's not to say that they can't. But just kind of just done a better job. And I think that through that, people are learning marketing techniques on how to make black fashion, if you will, more appealing to more people.
And that's that. I agree with you totally on that, and I think that's beneficial for Adidas because he's not trying to market to the urban audience. It's
Nope.
not just I got to market to the urban audience. That's not important right now. Like OJ said, I'm not black. I'm OJ. You know,
Right.
it's
I'm
not that I want to be just I'm that black person. I'm black because I'm Kanye. No, I'm a human being, and I'm gonna market my stuff to other human beings.
which is actually
It's
kind
not
of
just
no. Keep going. Finish your thought.
it's not just I'm not gonna market it just to black people because black people, or I mean, or the urban community are not the sole community of this entire world. It's everybody, and that's why I disagree with the Forbes article talking about this. I mean,
It's a
I mean,
dangerous
I'm
partnership.
answering, not disagree, but I'm answering the question. But also at the same time, am disagreeing with the Forbes article that this is dangerous to Kanye's partnership with Adidas is dangerous. It's no way in part dangerous at all. It's an opportunity for Adidas to grow, and also it's a hell of an opportunity for Kanye to grow his brand outside to a different market. People who may not know Kanye. You can go into a store and say, "What are Yeezys?"
Yeah.
And it's not. I don't need to know your face. I know the shoe.
Yeah, like this generation. I saw an interview where people were like waiting outside like a Jordan store, and they were asking, "Do you know who Jordan is?" And they were like, well, some of them were like, "No, I don't know who
Yeah.
Michael Jordan is." But
Never seen him play a day in your life,
yep, but
but you
they're
like the
buying.
shoe.
Yeah. So this is definitely a huge opportunity for him. I completely agree. I do want to just add on to the fact that in that Forbes article, they talked about how sometimes Kanye has a habit of going off the Richter scale, if you will. He
Yep.
has sometimes he brings the wrong type of publicity. Will
Mhm.
that hurt Adidas? If Kanye is, back on, an award show, taking the mic of somebody and saying you don't deserve this award, honestly, I don't think that that's gonna uh, hurt them in sales because that's what comes with the Kanye West brand, right?
Yeah.
Him doing something that's off the radar, and I think people have accepted it to the point that he can do that and people will still purchase. If anything, more people will purchase it and be like, "Yeah, I'm rocking the
Mhm.
Yeezys now."
And that's the thing is, this all calculated. Like I saw an article. I mean, I saw one of his Twitter posts,
Okay.
and he was going on a rant about something.
Hmm.
But when they like broke it down, every sentence of the Twitter post, the
Right.
first word, when it came all the way down, it said, "I am Lord Voldemort."
Interesting. So is
You know what I mean? So is this
I
all
mean,
like calculated? And if it
that
is,
award.
it's a genius. It's a genius move.
I mean, he knows how to market himself. That award show, he was just drunk. I mean, that's I don't know how calculate that one was,
Yeah.
but no, I completely agree. Like, I do want to just also add one more thing. I do find it interesting that like Kanye is like able to appeal to the masses when he's like heavily like African American slash black. Like like just his
Yeah.
music and like I do think that that's amazing that he's able to just cross so many different genres and so many different sections of groups of people, and he's like heavily like African American and black. So that's huge. But yeah, yes,
And another thing too, though, he went from Nike. Now
yep,
he went from Nike, went to Adidas,
yep,
and did even bigger things. He did great at Nike,
yep.
and you didn't even really when Yeezys first came out, you really ain't hear about them that much. But they sold like that.
Yeah, because
Now with these Yeezys with Adidas, you can't find a Yeezy Boost nowhere.
nah,
And if you do, it's $1,000 and some.
yep. I mean,
That's crazy.
he's a genius. But I do think that ultimately, if this works out, this is going to open up a whole new avenue for non-athletes, and that's going to include a ton more people. It may, just start with, the whole fashion music scene right now, but that's going to allow companies like an Adidas or a Nike or whoever to take chances on, the smaller guys and invest more money.
And you know what? They don't have to put all this into marketing. How many Kanye Yeezy commercials have you seen? Yeezy Boost commercials.
I'm not into like that stuff, so even if I don't know, but none,
Like,
I haven't seen any, but I know about it. I know that this is happening.
that's the thing, you know about it, but you hardly see any commercials promoting this brand.
That's true.
That's less money they got to spend, and more money coming into their pocket.
Yeah,
This is
that's true.
crazy. It's crazy. It's
That's true.
crazy to see.
That's true. All he has to do is put up one Twitter post, and it's gonna get around the internet. Like
And
my
he never
Yeezy's
let me
coming
down.
out.
He's
Yeah,
amazing.
my Yeezy's coming out. Yeah, man.
He's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, he is. And
Never
his,
let me down, Jamie. Never let me down.
I mean, his ego is gonna reflect that. So
He's definitely
yeah.
touching the sky.
So yep. So that's our thoughts on Kanye West's partnership with Adidas. Again, like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter at GDN Network, and check us out our website globaldiversitynews.com.